Back in the garage after a long weekend at Oliver's Mount. I'm still absolutely knackered, so Monday, I didn't get much done yesterday. Today, I still feel a bit knackered, but I'm going to have to get bashed on with some graft. Anyway, I thought I'd just give you a quick look at the bike. So the best part of this build was done in about 2 weeks. I worked every hour. I was working till about 11, half 11 every night of them 2 weeks to get this bike built. It was completely stripped down. It was just a track bike. It was very basic. It was basically a road bike with fairings on was what it was. But I got it stripped down. I made all the rear subframe. I TIG welded it all up so it'd take this rear seat unit. And as you can see, it sat really well. I got onto Nitron and I did a deal with them to get a rear shock. So that's what it's all about, working with businesses, trying to get the best deals, save some money on the racing. As you can see, the exhaust systems, that's a Yoshimori RS3. We did remove the baffle in one of the races, but it was holding back, so we put it back in. So I was struggling to get a steering damper for the bike. What I ended up doing was measuring it all, and I bought this YSS steering damper. Works really good, and I just bought a bracket for it to go on here. So I measured this and bought the bracket, and it all fits and works really well. Someone had made some clock mounts for the bike out of some steel, heavy steel, and I wasn't really happy with them, so I just made a lighter bracket there for the clocks out of aluminium, TIG welded it up. We've got a Hiltech quick shifter. It's not currently working. I've put it on the bike and wired it in according to the diagram, but it doesn't work, so it may be something to do with the app. It might want a reset or something, I don't know. It's something I'm going to have to investigate, but I become a Hiltech dealer to get this unit. So I'm hoping that it's going to work. It's not very good because, you know, I'm not going to be able to fit these to people's bikes if they don't work. So I'm going to have to get onto them this week and see what I can sort out. I've seen someone selling these on eBay, and they're quite a few quid. I worked out they were just from China and they were labelling them up as something a lot better. So these are actually from China. They're about 165 quid for the set, but they're proving to be quite good. We've not had any problems with them as yet. We've got a Regina lightweight 520 racing chain onto a JT lightweight rear sprocket. The gearing, I'm going to have a bit of a play with the gearing. Wavy discs front and rear, they came on the bike. And we're just on standard calipers. So the bike, it stops, brakes and stops fine. So there's no need to really go on to anything bigger. You know, there's these businesses there and they've got endless amounts of money that we're competing against. They're telling us, oh, you want Brembo home? Well, my rider's quite happy with what we've got, so we're going to stick with what we've got and spend the money elsewhere. Obviously, we're on braided lines. And now for the problem that we had this weekend. And this was not my idea, this was nothing to do with me, and it'll be going back standard. So a catch bottle has been mounted to the back of the radiator instead of the normal expansion bottle that would have been low down on the other side. Yeah, I mean, the more I look at it, it's just a stupid idea. As you can see, the air just cannot get out from behind the radiator. There's no flow. So the air comes in the front and it needs to exit the side fairings, and all that bottle's doing there is holding the air, the warm hot air, against the back of the radiator. It's just causing the radiator to get hotter and hotter, and that's why we've had problems all weekend of the bike boiling, and it's basically ruined the weekend. some of the sponsors on the bike. So Supercarlsunday, that's the YouTube channel. Nitron Suspension, Regina, Chain, Skid Marks, they're the fairings. ADB Joinery, they're in Sheffield. They do a lot with bespoke kitchens. And the Roasting Sandwich Company, so they're off Porttrack Lane in Stockton. They do lots of sandwiches and things like that, burgers I'm guessing, and breakfasts and things. It looks a nice little place actually for bikers to go and meet. Let's not forget the Manor Calf, our local biker calf. So I had a donation off them. They were one of the first to give a donation to the racing. Well, that's the bike, a look around the bike, and I showed you the issue we had at the last race. So my final thoughts today is, always remember, no matter what you do, there'll always be people criticise, there'll always be people pull you down, and you're always going to have haters. No matter what you do, you always have haters in life. But the hate is the issue that they've got within themselves, it is never you. So you keep getting on with your life, keep thinking positive and doing the things that make you happy. I've had my own shit in life. I've had epilepsy since I was 13. I've had the worst kind of epilepsy. I've been in some very nasty positions with it. I've been in hospital very bad with it, very ill. It's not a nice thing to go through. I've had it since I was 13. I'm on medication for the rest of my life. I had a very, very tough time growing up with epilepsy. Found it very difficult to get on with people. I got into a lot of trouble. Struggled expressing myself. As I say, getting on with people. So my epilepsy affected me badly. I also had a very bad bike accident. It was difficult to get through. The mental side of it was difficult as well. In fact, I think that affected me even more than the injuries. Also, I had cancer twice. This came a year after the bike accident. I had testicular cancer, and then I found out a year later I had testicular cancer, and I had to get through that as well. That was not very good. We dipped out on having kids. I dipped out on having my own kids with my wife. Another difficult thing to come through. So now I'm just enjoying life. I'm thankful for the life I've got, because there's always people a lot worse than you. And that is my outlook on life. And I've got myself into the racing. I've put together a race team. I've got a cracking lad riding for me. Great friends. Involved with lots of great people now at the racing. My wife, great support from my wife, great friends in Andy Graham, and his missus, new missus, Rachel, and yeah, just got lots of friends, and I'm just loving life, and I appreciate life, and it's the best way I think everyone should do moving forwards, just enjoy life. That's my last thought of the day anyway. I hope you enjoy the video.